Alright guys, we just went and saw San Andreas.
We did. We saw it.
It's a thing.
It's a movie that exists.
It's a movie that exists. It's a thing. I don't
really
know where to start.
We were pretty excited to see it.
It looked like a fun movie,
yeah.
if nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I have fun going to the theater and watching things no matter how bad it might be. I don't go into a movie expecting to not dislike it. I do my best to try to, enjoy it as best as I can.
Yeah.
That being said, this wasn't a good movie.
No.
Let's start with what we liked about it first.
Okay. One, I just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Super
solid.
Solid action movie.
Yeah.
He can carry an action movie better than almost anybody, I think,
Yeah.
in the business right now.
I liked and hated the intensity of it the whole time.
Right.
I mostly hated it, but there were parts where I was like, super good energy level on screen. I don't know if I could say much more.
I mean, the CGI was pretty good.
Those parts get decent scores from us, but on the other hand, it still wasn't great.
It still wasn't great. And I don't know how much of it I can attribute to the genre that it exists in, or to the movie itself.
Yeah.
A disaster movie is it's a formula and it's completely separate from other action movies because there isn't a quintessential bad guy in the disaster movie. The disaster movie is nature usually, and
yeah, that's totally right. You can plug literally any disaster movie into that same formula. So it's nothing we'd never seen before.
The thing about disaster movies is that I could write a disaster movie beat for beat.
Yeah.
Because you need a super competent individual, prove how competent they are, which they do. Then you immediately have to focus in the story and make it as contained as possible in a disaster movie. Because there's too much going on to focus on the disaster as a whole. So you have to focus on individual characters and their families and what's motivating them to still be in this disaster zone. Because it wasn't a good movie, guys.
The women in the movie, there was one scene, I think, where two females were interacting with each other.
In that scene, and their interactions were two sentences back and forth to each other.
And it was very terse, and the other woman was being a bit. The daughter did pull through in certain areas. She was definitely a badass, but I think there could have been more.
Right.
And I think that anytime, like you said, anytime the females were badass, it was only to enhance how badass Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was.
Right, because his daughter, who is what's the name? Jake Gyllenhaal's character from The Day After Tomorrow. That's her in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of that actress? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I don't know the name. I don't even know the names of the characters, honestly. Blake, okay.
Yeah. I don't know the
name of the mom.
Emma.
Kaleigh was paying more attention than I was.
I don't know I don't even know The Rock's name though.
Well, because The Rock is always The Rock. I think his name is Ray or something. He's The Rock.
You remember?
No, he's the main character.
Ray, yeah. On a scale, what would you give it?
Probably 70 out of 100. So solid C minus, D plus.
Yeah, I'd be right around there as well.
If we were to judge, but I wouldn't even call it a good disaster movie because I have seen better disaster movies.
Day After Tomorrow is still classic.
What's frustrating to me is that I don't understand why The Expert had to exist, because that had no bearing on how The Rock was acting as a character. Does that make any sense? Paul Giamatti's character had no impact on the actions of the mom and The Rock.
Yeah.
He's found a way to predict earthquakes. I guess spoilers.
Yeah, not really.
Guys, you've seen the movie, the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, buildings fall over and collapse and stuff.
Stuff's going down.
Stuff's going down. That's the main conflict of the movie. And sure, he gets warning to people, but that doesn't impact the rest of the story at all. So I don't understand why he had to exist.
Yeah, because literally the only reason is to show that certain people were able to get away. But any prediction that he could have come up with, any breakthrough he could have had, couldn't stop it from happening.
Right, it couldn't stop it from happening. And
yeah, it was a pretty unneeded storyline, actually, now that I think about it.
I I think Jurassic Park is still the best disaster movie actually that I've ever seen.
That is.
I think Jurassic Park is a disaster movie. I just realized. It's nothing comes close to Jurassic Park.
That's the synopsis of this story.
Of this story. We're really excited for things to come.
Yeah.
We're stretching this out and evolving it.
Getting the ball rolling.
Getting the ball rolling again. Little baby steps.
So, yeah.
Guys.
Hey.
So this is just a little hint of what's to come. Alright. That's all you're getting.
Just a snippet.
Just a little taste. Just a tiny little one. Alright, see you guys.